We all have our own problems. Our own issues.
Well, I certainly don't know if that makes for a good Venom movie, but it sure makes for a hell of an impression of Jason Statham from Crank. That's honestly all I could think about whenever I saw that trailer back in the day. But welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. October is here. It is October 5th, 2018, and we've got 3 big movies to look at today, including our first movie, which I honestly thought I never saw, but apparently I did. I wrote a review for it back in the day, so it's probably not a good sign that I don't remember a single thing about this movie. But then again, that's probably why the Venom movies have never been something that's been completely on my radar. But Venom, this is the movie where Sony was going to do the same thing that Warner Brothers did 14 years prior with Catwoman. Take her out of the Batman universe and put her into her own movie. We're going to take Venom out of the Spider-Man universe and put him into his own universe. And somehow we're going to weave it back into Spider-Man later on down the road, and then that never happened, and so on and so forth. But in this movie, you have Tom Hardy playing Eddie Brock, who acquires the powers of a symbiote, and will have to release his alter ego Venom to save his life. So finally, after years of development as a bad idea, a marketing campaign that had no idea what Sony was trying to sell the film as, and a couple of weeks of mixed reviews, I finally got around to seeing Venom, somewhat under protest, but I did see it, and, I saw the film. I think I saw it on one of those days when it was raining all day up at the movie theater, up at the mall, so I couldn't really go anywhere, if I remember correctly. But then again, it just took me until now to realize that I did see this movie back then. But I did see the film, and honestly, it could have been a whole lot worse. I mean, I've seen a lot worse comic book movies. I mean, I know, but as bad as Venom is, it's nowhere near as bad as stuff like Catwoman or Elektra or Fan4stick. Those, to me, are movies that I think are much worse because those are the films that are clearly made for people who clearly have not read the source material and just want to do a Cliff Notes synopsis of how these characters became superheroes and just make a movie off of that. Venom, there is at least an effort to try to stick to the character and create a world where he can exist without Spider-Man in the mix. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying there's at least an effort there. I mean, I don't think of this as being bad. I just think that the movie is just completely unnecessary. I mean, I really do think the sole purpose of this movie being made was for Avi Arad to stick this in the face of Sam Raimi, who, if you remember correctly, Spider-Man 3, Sam Raimi did not want to put the Venom in there. He wanted to put the Vulture in there, but he was forced by Avi Arad to put the Venom in the third film. And so he basically said, "See, Raimi, we made a movie about Venom. Fuck you. I'm so much better than you," says the guy who called fucking Bratz X-Men for teenage girls. Yeah, we haven't forgotten about that, Avi, because, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, right now you're having success with Spider-Man, but because you're standing back, you're letting Kevin Feige and his guys do their work with Spider-Man, and the dividends are paying off big time. I mean, it's already, at this point of recording this, the big is $500 million domestically, and it's probably going to make $1 billion when it's all said and done here in the States alone. But that should give you a timestamp of when I'm recording this on August 7th of 2026. And if you still need an indication of that, there, Steel City Con working down there. So yeah, the date's right there, August 7th through the 9th. So, but anyway, back to the movie. Now, in terms of the positives, Tom Hardy, I think, is the best thing about the movie. I thought he was great. He was the one guy that got what he was doing, and he's the one that is having the most fun in this. And the CG Venom is nicely done for the most part. The rest of the acting overall is fine, except for, obviously wasted talents like Jenny Slate, and especially Michelle Williams, who with this and I Feel Pretty, I mean, talk about a butchering of your career in 2018, man. I mean, this was rough, but Hardy really is the one thing that's saving the movie from going completely under the ground. The rest of the movie overall is a lackluster mess. From the story, which is about as cliched as you can get, and predictable as you can get, and their attempts at humor are so incredibly lazy. I still can't get over the fact that the marketing actually thought Venom saying "turd in the wind" would get the butts into the seats, and I'm sorry, I can't take this seriously no matter how you give this. I mean, the action sequences are just kind of meh. There's nothing about them that makes them great overall. I think the biggest problem with the film overall is the stingers in the end credits, because you got the Woody Harrelson cameo as Carnage, who of course is going to be the big part of the second movie, Let There Be Carnage, but it's a pretty bad cameo, and it's just, I mean, the hair alone just was like, I mean, just that's too much, man. Like, not so too much there. But at least it was connecting to Venom. The second stinger, on the other hand, yeah, remember a couple years ago when international cuts of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 put a scene from X-Men Days of Future Past on there to make you think that it was part of the same universe when it was not at all? Yeah, that happens here too, which, yeah, they pull the thing at the end of the film by trying to connect Venom to the much better-looking Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which, of course, comes out at the end of the year. And they basically took an extended scene from that and tried to convince audience that this and Venom are connected, which, back then it didn't seem to make sense, but eventually, if you saw Across the Spider-Verse, it does somewhat connect to Venom, because there was a scene where the villain of that movie is crossed over into the live-action world of Venom, but even then, like, even if that did eventually make its way overall, Into the Spider-Verse, when you see that film, Venom is never mentioned in there, and considering it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller producing it, I wouldn't have been shocked that they would have thrown some jokes making fun of Venom, but it's just, I don't think they did that overall. I know they did in the second film, but not in the first film, but what pissed me off about that scene's incorporation in the credits is that it's the second time in the last 4 years Sony's tried to pull this. Because, like I said, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, they put a scene from X-Men Days of Future Past to try to connect both films when they have no connection whatsoever. And the fact that they tried to do this again with this, like, it just shows how pathetic of a move this was. And it takes the movie down a notch because of what Sony was trying to do there. As far as the rest of the movie goes, it was about what I expected it to be. Not a bad movie, but just a really unnecessary film. There are elements here where they actually are kind of good, but for about 90% of the film, it's just a lackluster, unnecessary mess. It's not one of the worst films of the year by any stretch of the imagination, but it doesn't do anything that special. If the movie maybe had come out in 2003 or 2004, this probably would have been up there as some of the best comic book movies ever, because we haven't really gotten, Christopher Nolan and, the MCU changing the game for that. But as it is, it's just kind of here, and at least no real impact in the long haul. Just a forgotten, unnecessary movie in general. And, of course, they made the sequels. I'm pretty sure I have not seen the sequels. I mean, I'm pretty sure when I looked up the review for this again, I didn't see Let There Be Carnage or the Last Dance one. I know I haven't seen The Last Dance, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I have not seen Let There Be Carnage. But we'll eventually get to that here on this show, because that'll be just before my cutoff date. But anyway, so that is Venom. So let's go ahead and move on to easily the best movie of the week. One of the best movies of the year. A triumph for Bradley Cooper as not just an actor but a director, but a revolutionary film acting debut for Lady Gaga. This is, of course, A Star Is Born. Yeah, that was a screw up on my part. I couldn't see Lady Gaga at the corner end of the screen, so that's why you didn't see her there until the last minute. But this is the fourth remake of A Star Is Born, going all the way back to the Judy Garland film in 1937, the 1954 musical, the 1976 one with Kris Kristofferson and Barbra Streisand, as well as a 2013 Bollywood remake. And this is, like I said, the directorial debut for Bradley Cooper, who had established himself as a seasoned actor overall, after many years as being the stock asshole character in R-rated comedies like Wedding Crashers and The Hangover, among many other movies in particular. And then he completely changed the game around and started making these high quality, Oscar contender films: Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle, American Sniper, Joy. Just so many great movies that have just elevated this guy to a whole nother echelon, making him one of the best actors in Hollywood. And not only that, he proves that he has the chops to be a hell of a director too, because this is a triumph of a film. So in this movie, you have a seasoned musician, Jackson Maine, played by Cooper, who discovers and falls in love with a struggling artist named Allie, played by Lady Gaga. She had just given up on she was just about to give up on her dream to make it big as a singer, until Jax coaxes her into the spotlight. But even as Allie's career takes off, the personal side of the relationship is breaking down, and Jack fights an ongoing battle with his own internal demons. And like I said, man, it felt like they were trying to do a modernized version of the 76 movie, with Cooper pretty much channeling a mix between Chris Christopherson and Sam Elliott in his performance, which is funny because Sam Elliott is also in the movie. And I thought it was a risky move for Cooper to make this his directorial debut because of the legacy that other films and musicals have had for each generation, but it honestly was a better option than what it could have been, because Clint Eastwood was going to direct this movie, and it was going to be Beyonce, which I think, starring as the Lady Gaga role, which I thought could have been interesting, but seeing what they did here, this was the right move to go with here. And yeah, this definitely is one of the best movies of the year on so many levels. For Bradley Cooper, it does show how far he's come since Wedding Crashers, since The Hangover. I mean, since All About Steve. I mean, that was a low point of his career. To go from that to an echelon like this, I mean, he shows a lot of great abilities in both his writing and directorial debut. He's got the potential to become one of our next great filmmakers, and you can tell he took a lot of inspiration and style from Clint Eastwood's directing ways, while also creating his own unique vision that hopefully transpires into future projects. And as far as his acting goes, it's really, really good. I will say, though, at first, Jackson Maine, when he's too drunk and slurring his words too much, I mean, it goes a little too far. Like, it really is like, we get it. You're supposed to be drunk. You're supposed to have a lot of problems within you, but you're stretching it kind of a bit here. But once it gets going, you got used to it. And I think his overall chemistry with Lady Gaga is amazing. And Lady Gaga really is the star of the movie. Like, she's the reason why this film is called A Star is Born. Because, yes, a star definitely is born here. I mean, this is a performance that shows everybody that, yeah, this woman really is somebody who deserves to have a lot more roles in movies and TV shows. I mean, I thought she was great on American Horror Story, and in this, she's a great character, a lot of good story development with her, and she has the right chemistry with Cooper to make this relationship work as well as it does. And she proves she can carry a movie and gives this really good performance that, honestly, I think should have won the Oscar for Best Actress. I mean, this was the best overall performance of the year for me, and that should have been the Best Actress winner this year. No disrespect to Olivia Colman, but, you know, I thought this one definitely should have been the one where she won the Oscar for it. But she did win an Oscar for Best Original Song, which, yeah, of course the songs are great in this movie. And they do a great job singing them, both Cooper and Gaga. It does the dramatic and emotional moments very well, especially in the last 10 minutes, which I gotta be honest with you, I held it together for much of this movie, but then the last 10 minutes happened. I swear to God, I was bawling like crazy, man. I mean, I don't usually cry in movies, but I'll be damned if those last 10 minutes didn't get me. Not only is Lady Gaga singing this beautiful song, but in context to the events that happened prior, it's hard not to start tearing up because of just how well the film plays these scenes out. Like, picture the scene in La La Land where Emma Stone is singing The Fools Who Dream, except a million times better. That's how effective the last 10 minutes are in this movie. This is a terrific film. The acting overall is great. Not just Sam Elliott, but a performance that I really think got overlooked in this is Andrew Dice Clay, which, you know, a couple years ago, he showed that he is somebody that could be a really great actor with Blue Jasmine. Great film, great performance in that. And he was really good in this, but yet nobody really ever talks about him in this movie, but he's really good. And it's a shame he's never really done anything to capitalize on the success he had with Blue Jasmine in this. I mean, I'm trying to remember, what was the last thing he was in where he acted? The Pickup, which was the movie that came out on Amazon last year, which I don't remember being all that good. So maybe that's why I don't really think of him as an actor ever since The Star Is Born, because The Pickup wasn't really that great of a film when I saw that. But he has proven he's been a really good actor, and I'm really shocked that he hasn't really done a whole lot more since this movie, because he was pretty good in this film. Again, doesn't really get talked about all that much here. Kind of like how John Turturro's performance as Carmine Falcone in The Batman sadly never gets talked about, but I think it's one of the best performances of the decade, honestly. I mean, that should have been a Best Supporting Actor nomination for that, but all a good time. We'll get to that one eventually. But I really have no flaws about A Star Is Born. I just think it's a really good, well-made around film. The writing and the direction by Cooper is great. The music is nicely done. The cast is excellent. It's a great movie. It's one of the year's best films, and you're really doing yourself a huge disservice by not seeing this movie. It's a film that you gotta see it. One of the highlights of 2018, easily. A Star Is Born. Beautiful film. Beautiful, beautiful film. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie that we have here, and that is another underrated movie that didn't really get the respect it deserved back then, but it's The Hate U Give.
Coming at me for my music, but you listen to this old stuff.
Old stuff? What? You better get up out of here with all that. Pockets of truth.
Well, I got a boyfriend.
Yeah, I heard. It's all good.
Really?
We've been together our whole life, so we got time.
My name is Star. 2 R's. Daddy named me that. Garden Heights. Mama and Daddy says our life is here because our people are here. We got Mr. Rubin's barbecue, Mr. Lewis's barbershop, and Daddy's store. The high school is where you go to get jumped, high, or pregnant. We don't go there. Williamson is another world, so when I'm here, I'm Star version 2.
Yo, those kicks are lit.
Basically, Williamson's Star doesn't give anyone a reason to call her ghetto, and I hate myself for doing it. Until the weekend comes around.
I get those goosebumps every time.
What's up? Where you been? Man, I know you be hanging with all the white kids.
Shut up.
Yeah, when you're not around, when you go that out of the car.
Yo, Star, you okay?
Go back where he told you. Khalil, I'm not playing. Go back where
Now, I'll be 100% honest. When I first saw that in the trailer there, my first thought to myself was, it sucks that he had to get shot because of that, but it's just kind of like, you kind of have to see that coming. I know you were trying to be funny, but I mean, I really didn't know how to feel about that overall. I just felt like, that felt unnecessary to throw that in there. But this is The Hate U Give. But despite that, this is still a really good movie. This is based off of a young adult novel of the same name, where you have Imelda Sternberg as Star Carter, who's constantly switching between two worlds: the poor, mostly black neighborhood where she lives, and the rich, mostly white prep school she attends. The uneasy balance between these worlds is shattered when Star witnesses the fatal shooting of her childhood best friend Khalil at the hands of a police officer. Now facing pressure from all sides of the community, Star must find her voice and stand up for what is right. And the sad part about this movie is that there was a lot of the heavy stuff in this doesn't go straight from the movie, but it also goes with the people who made the film, because Audrey Wells, the writer of this movie, actually died a day before the film's release. So yeah, there's a lot of heavy stuff all throughout this movie, and it's a movie that still really works because, sadly, the world really has not changed all that much since then. I mean, we want to make the world a better place, but it's unfortunate that it's unfortunate that this movie is a sad representation of what's going on in the world, even nearly 10 years later. And it's just, yeah, it's sadly a movie that's still very much relevant in today's world than ever before, especially now with the way the world has just gone to complete and utter shit. But the film works because of the amazing cast. You have a cast that includes great actors like Sternberg, Regina Hall, Russell Hornsby, Issa Rae, KJ Apa, Sabrina Carpenter, one of her big film roles after her time on Disney before she became the music sensation that he is now. Common, Anthony Mackie, a great director in George Tillman Jr. I mean, a really good directing effort by him. Something I feel like he desperately needed, because he had been on a kind of a slope the last couple of years. His last great movie was Notorious, which was 9 years before this. But, yeah, Faster, The Longest Ride, and then Big George Foreman, not some of his better movies. So this is probably the last great thing he's ever directed. But, trying to see what Audrey Wells died of. I think she died of, yeah, she was diagnosed with cancer. So, yeah, she died a day before this film's release. And it's a shame, because she wrote a lot of great movies, a lot of really good movies. George of the Jungle, The Kid, even stuff like Under the Tuscan Sun, Shall We Dance, The Game Plan. She wrote Abominable, which we'll get to in 2019. I mean, a really, really good writer. And it's just a shame to see her go that way. But, yeah, it's a great movie. It's a really well-made film. A very underrated gem of a movie. Like I said, it came and went. I mean, it made back its budget overall, but was largely forgotten since then. And it's a shame, because, like I said, it's a movie where it really is something that is much better than I think, and sadly represents more of the times now than it did back then. It's a movie that still is very much relevant, and it's a great movie. It's a great movie that works, and it's a definitely better movie for Amanda Stillbrook from Fox than The Darkest Minds was earlier in the year. But yeah, it's a great movie. One I highly recommend checking out. The Hate U Give. And so with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies, and we'll take a look at a couple of other big October releases, including Damien Chazelle's follow-up to La La Land, with Ryan Gosling joining in on the ride with First Man. We also have the sequel to the unexpected hit Goosebumps, Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween. A criminally underrated film, Bad Times at the El Royale, which features Chris Hemsworth among the stars to the cast, as well as an early appearance by Cynthia Erivo and also Jeff Bridges, just to name a few. We also have lastly we also have Ike Barinholtz and Tiffany Haddish starring in the politically divisive comedy The Oath, which is basically about Thanksgiving, where the families are trying desperately not to bring up politics, but of course somebody's going to bring it up. I mean, when you have everybody there. You have them there for several hours. Sooner or later, politics are going to get in the way here. But, yeah, a movie like this should work, but there's probably a good reason why you've never heard of this movie before. So we'll take a look at that film as well. So we've got overall, I believe, 4 movies again. First Man, Goosebumps 2, Haunted Halloween, Bad Times at the El Royale, and The Oath. So yeah, we'll take a look at those 4 films coming up tomorrow on the show. I hope you will join me for that. With all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.